Kept together, play the game. Thus will bring St. Mary's fame. Unity will make us strong. Love will guide our steps along. Love indeed our lives will frame.
A special good morning to you students, teachers, parents, and the entire Sumerian community. We felt it necessary for us to have another virtual assembly at this point. We believe that this assembly is timely as we need to continually connect with you and support you as you cope with your current situation. Let us begin our assembly with a spiritual reflection and prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Howell, for this opportunity to present to the students. And good day, students, teachers, and Sumerian family. May God bless you. So let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity. Help us to remember always that no matter how difficult things may seem, that a great life is dependent not on our external circumstances, but on the habits we do every single day. Give us the courage to make every day a masterpiece in order to live a wonderful and amazing life. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. One of my favorite speakers, Eric Thomas, he makes the point that the difference between the most successful people like Oprah and others who are not as successful is how the little habits they have throughout the day. So what they do in their 24 hours. And he says, if we set the right habits, because our daily habits are really going to create the fabric of our lives. So we're not going to suddenly leap into a magical life, but every single day, even the monotonous is what builds a wonderful life. So I have my 5 little habits that I try out every now and then, every day, the habits of daily prayer, the habits of daily writing, the habits of water and so on that I drink and exercise. But it's not always easy to stick to these habits. I may do the first day well, but the next day I may struggle. So there are 2 things I do that really help me. The first one is that I've mentioned before with you gentlemen, is to really get into gospel music. So while I write or whatever I do, it's playing in the background. So remember, whatever your psyche listens to, whatever you play in the background while you study, whatever it is going to have an impact on the way you receive information. So gospel music is really important to me that I really recommend that you can try out for yourselves. The other thing is I do is prayer. Whenever I need to do something that I don't feel like doing, I just I take a moment just to pray. And I really believe that in Jeremiah 29, God says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to bless you, plans to give you a future, plans to give you success. I'm convinced that when I pray, I'm reminding God of His plan for me to be successful in whatever area that I do. So I recommend to you, don't ever think that you cannot be successful or that you are too indisciplined. You are like every one of us. We all struggle to remain focused. But try these 2 disciplines of gospel music in the background and daily prayer and see what they will do for you.
At St. Mary's College, we care about the well-being of everyone. Gentlemen, your teachers, your parents, the staff of St. Mary's College, they care for you. As your principal, I care for you. And sometimes, I become overly concerned about your well-being. I am also concerned about the well-being of all our stakeholders, our parents, our teachers, board members, and everyone who contributes to this school. Therefore, today, we are going to be very practical with our message to you. Today, we are going to review the real issues that you face and then provide you with some measure of counseling support. Our school's guidance counselor, Ms. Lee, and Mr. Lindell Kadas will share with us this morning. Let me just say that Mr. Kadas is a psychologist by profession and also a former Sumerian. Let us welcome them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Howell. Good day to all students, our entire St. Mary's College community. My name is Christelle Lee, the school counselor. Today we have a guest with us for this assembly, Mr. Lindell Kadas. He is a counselor at Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. The counselors throughout the island during this quarantine time, we have all continued our mandate to serve and to support our individual populations. As this is a very different time, we have been using all different mediums to reach our students. Like, for example, we have been posting in the classrooms, the classroom platforms set up in the different schools. We have been posting messages on social media like Instagram, Facebook. Counselors have been doing interviews. Newsletters have been produced and put in packages for students. For today's assembly, we would like to use this forum to reassure persons that the support is still out there. The counselors, we are not headlining or advertising because the focus is on the work at hand. But we are just here to continue to help you to cope. And we are ready. Today, we wanted to just briefly address some of the situations that you may have been encountering. When we have been interacting with students, teachers, the different members of our population, we have been hearing particular concerns. And I would like to invite you now to join us and to listen to this young man, a student, as he explains how he is feeling at this time.
Man, this is why I hate online school. My laptop is tracking again, and these online Google Classrooms are supposed to be using, I can't even access half the time. Not to mention the fact that this is the 5th time my Wi-Fi has been down this week. And now basically all my work has to go through some sort of filter. Like, how am I supposed to take a picture of a graph without it coming out awful? My camera quality is really that bad. I mean, my French oral skills was bad enough without the breaks in the audio. Not to mention all the work the teacher's been giving us. You know, when I'm watching YouTube, the last thing I expect to hear about is this new assignment due in less than 12 hours. Especially when I wanted to work on my SBA today. I guess that's out the window. And the work she sent, it's just another quiz that requires me to read an entire new chapter in my book just for a specific answer. Man, I miss my class. It actually made learning fun.
Now, what we heard here is typical of what many students would be going through right now. Mr. Kadas, how would you assist this young man? What could you offer?
Thank you very much, Ms. Lee, for inviting me to participate in SMC's assembly. Okay. Well, first of all, I think what students need to do is mimic their normal school schedule. Okay, so if you're normally at school from 8 to 2:30, so if we set that aside for our schoolwork, it creates a sense of normalcy and a routine that is easier to follow. It is also important for students to remember that you should focus on the things that you can control. So I know technology has bugs. So the internet may drop, the Google Classroom may not load in the time that you need it to. But it's also important to articulate these challenges to your parents, to your teachers, so at least they're aware that there are things that are going on that are out of your control but affect your ability to produce.
Thank you, Mr. Kadas, for that very timely contribution. I'm sure the students will benefit from that. Let's now go to a parent who is expressing their experience in this quarantine time.
Being a parent during COVID-19 is no easy feat. I am wearing many more hats than usual and all at the same time. Continuing to be a full-time worker working from home, also then being a parent full-time during those working hours, which is not usual, and to a certain extent a part-time teacher. It's sometimes a challenge balancing my work schedule and my son's school schedule. We both need to make sure we have quiet, tidy workspaces, free of interruptions for when I have my video calls. But then I find myself using a lot of the time supervising him, making sure that work is happening, keeping him on schedule and out of vacation mode, sometimes overseeing that assignments are done properly, which is something that I would do in the evenings, but now it's happening during the day, during my work day. As managing my household, that still needs to take place and be balanced in terms of preparing meals and preparing groceries. And you know, having children at home means more food and more food preparation, more cleaning. I'm also concerned about the emotional toll on my son, so I spend a lot of time engaging him, making sure that some of the social interaction that he's missing out on is fulfilled at home, and that he will be okay both educationally as well as emotionally when all of this is over. So it's a challenge, it's the new normal, and we're all trying our best to find a way to manage.
Mr. Gadas, to you, how would you assist?
Again, the most important thing is routine and schedule. So if parents within their control can have a schedule that mimics their child's schedule. So parents are working, students are working. You can also schedule your breaks around the same time, so you're getting the social interaction that a lot of us are missing during this time. There's also an opportunity to foster a different, stronger bond with your child. You also get to see them in an element that you would not normally get to see them, see how they work, maybe understand some of the difficulties and the challenges they're having with their schoolwork, and that gives you an opportunity to assist in a way that you have never been able to in the past.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that. Now, all the sectors, everyone is experiencing something, is affected in some way. No one is immune. And let's go to the teachers and hear how teachers are experiencing this time during the quarantine.
Being a teacher during COVID-19 is really difficult. On top of the anxiety over COVID and keeping my family and myself safe, there's the added pressure of translating my subject into an online format. Talk about stressful. Even though it is revision this term, it is still hard work sourcing new content and transforming it to work students can connect with during the short periods of their schedules. Then we have to learn new programs for teaching and disseminating information. And in some cases, we have to learn more than one online learning platform for our children, as different schools use different programs. But ultimately, as a teacher, I am most concerned for my students. I do hope that they are doing fine at home and not weighted down by the distancing. I want them to at least try to engage with the content that was worked so hard on to get to them. I want them to stay motivated in this uncomfortable and stressful situation. And I want them to know that we, your teachers, understand. Ultimately, I want them to still keep pushing, keep encouraged, and be hopeful.
Mr. Gadas, let's talk to the teachers.
Wow, I think you teachers are the superheroes of this story. But I also need you all to remember that you're human too. You have a major task put before you, creating content for our students, but you're also wives and husbands and parents and children yourself to your parents. So it is very easy to think that maybe you'll start to feel like maybe you're failing because you're not getting everything done in a neat 8-hour package. But it is important to understand that this quarantine time is new and challenging for everybody, for all of us. We're all having some form of difficulty adjusting to this new normal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gadas. This indeed is a very challenging time for everyone. Everything is changing so fast, and we have to learn on the go, it seems like. What we have to deal with today and we settle down and we deal with isn't necessarily what we're going to have to deal with tomorrow. So we do have to have a mindset that we are going to cope and we can do it. Yes, it will be challenging, but we can do it. So as we sum up this section of our assembly, Mr. Kadas, any words of inspiration that you want to leave with our population, our SMC community?
The world right now is going through a collective traumatic experience. And this is what is abnormal about the situation, the coronavirus. So all our reactions are within the realm of normal. And also we need to remember that as normal changes, so should our expectations of ourselves and of each other.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kadas. And thank you, all of you, for being here and sharing with us in this assembly.
I thank you, Ms. Lee and Mr. Kadas, for this wonderful presentation. At this point, I wish to thank you, our students, who continue to be resilient, patient, and understanding. I engage some students, and I understand the challenges that they face. I also thank all stakeholders who continue to support the school. I thank the teachers and staff of St. Mary's College, as they have placed tremendous effort to ensure that students benefit from the online platforms. Finally, I thank you, parents, for working with us. Though this period caused you great anxiety, you continue to support us. Your kind and friendly interaction has helped to strengthen the relationship with the school, so that together we can ensure that our students benefit. Just a few points I wish you to note. On Wednesday, 20th May 2020, we are having a virtual meeting for all students of Form 5. The meeting is being held in collaboration with the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. The link for the meeting will be placed in your Google Classroom. Students of Form 4 and 5 will receive a revised study guide schedule to better cater for their needs at this point. Students of Form 3, please note that you will continue to interact with the general Google Classroom, where you will receive guidance counseling with respect to subject selection. Also note that a virtual meeting for students of Form 3 will take place on May 26 and 27, 2020, to discuss your subject selection. The links for those meetings will be provided closer to the dates. I urge you, students, to continue following your online classes and to participate fully in all of your classes. I wish you a wonderful week. Let us now stand, as customary, for the singing of our school's song.
Together, play the game. Thus will bring St. Mary's fame. Unity will make us strong. Love will guide our steps along. Love indeed our lives will frame. love for God, which cares not whether force might, left, right. We Sumerians work together, steady boys and step together. In the past we've made our name, St. Lucia Sterling's sons proclaim that St. Mary's taught them well, each is dead to its cantel. Now we'll fan still more the flame of our past, and reck not whether force might, left, right. We Sumerians work together, steady boys and step together. Step together, fight as one, seek no rest till you have done. For St. Mary's all you can, prove your worth and be a man. Thus will all unite and shine, cowardly deeds and reck not whether force might, left, right. All Sumerians work together, steady boys and step together.